Hey guys, I just wanted to respond to this comment about asking me when I consider making sure everyone's equal, at least egalitarian, is that it's impossible because no one should be equal, because who took the risk to start the business, build the factory, and hire the workers? You think the guy who just showed up to work is equal to the guy who owns the business? And I honestly, I just want to respond to this question. I think it's a great question because people kind of get confused in this. Now, I am not a socialist trying to adapt as a socialist capitalist trying to adopt a system to trying to adapt capitalism and make it a better capitalist society, to make it better for people, because honestly I don't think that's possible, because any form of capitalism is bad and will exploit people. And so I think this type of question is the kind of resistance that I face, and that's why I want to make an example of it, because this is what most people believe, and I've said it before, people believe this is natural. Well, I don't believe that. And so the thing is, this type of value, this type of mindset would not be in that type of society, because people would realize that everyone is equal. And it's kind of, I remember thinking as a kid, why do people get paid differently when everyone needs to do the work? If the construction workers decided not to work, then we wouldn't have roads anymore. So why do they not get paid as much as doctors? And to me, that always puzzles me as a kid. I now understand why, because it's people believe, and people have made up the ideology that based on your education and the amount of investment you've had to put in, that's what determines the amount of money you make. And also it depends how much money the person who owns your hospital or the construction worker job is willing to give you. And it's also why people think unions are great, but unions is just an adaptation to already abhorrent system. And it's also why people are now starting to hate on unions because they strike so much, and then people get upset because, like, when teachers strike, the parents have to stay home and not make money, and if they're living to paycheck to paycheck, that's not good for them. And so it's also, with that system, even if you're trying to get equal wages or better wages, you are also, what you're doing is also exploiting other people, because now that you're not doing your job, these other people are now suffering because of you. So again, it's why I say capitalism, no matter what way you turn it, there's always going to be exploiting, it's always going to be bad. And so it's what I mean by this. Yes, you may have taken the risk. Of course, in capitalism, everything would be public. There would be no private businesses, because private businesses it creates a sense of, well, it's mine, and it creates a protecting, because you want to protect it, and people will do bad things to protect what they think is theirs. And it's also why it's not, because then that creates exploitation, especially with thinking like this, well, I made the business, so I should be making most of the money. Even though there's so many videos that show, yeah, you make the business, and it may have been, oh, your father's rich, and he lets you have all this money and you make your own business. Not really much risk. And sometimes, yeah, you may get to that top, but then you're not working as much as the people below you. You're working less and you're having an amazing life, while the workers are not having a good life at all. That's also why I think it's unfair. And it's like, yeah, even in the system, if you made all this risk, you hired all these workers, if they're not comfortable with you, and if they don't think you're paying them well and they can find another job, they'll all quit, and that will leave you poor with no money, and your company will just go down because you have no one to work for you. So it's also, in this society, There is no way, and in any society, and this is the human nature too, you need people. And everybody, most people have a certain job to do. And that creates a system where without that one job, you'll lose everything else. And of course, it's also why this whole thing of workers and workers needing money has made environmental pollution still possible. It's made all these horrible things we do, it's a justification because, well, that creates jobs. Which is why I think it's a point. That's why I think in a system I'm proposing, that won't be needed because everyone will be taken care of, so they don't need to work horrendous jobs or jobs that ruin the environment or ruin other people's livelihood. And it's also why I don't believe in that, and why I think mechanization will improve and will go forward. And of course, yes, it will be able to create new everything. Well, you won't have any of this new inventions because that's what creates it. Like capitalism creates that, but it doesn't. It just the incentive is money. But in other places, the incentive could be something else. It could be doing a good day's work or helping other people. And that's why money is not needed for the only motivator. And money generally tends to make people greedy, and the motivations are not always great. So I think things would still improve, and without nation states and the world government, it would create everybody working together instead of them working on the same project, but it's all divided because they can't work together. Because countries are trying to make themselves better. That's why I don't believe the way the world is productive at all. And I think a world would be more productive in the society I envision. So that's kind of my argument there, and I think it's very logical as well. Because a lot of things I see, now I know Star Trek, you've heard of Vulcans, and I may just going not on the mystical part, but just on the basis of what they believe in, is that emotions can be bad because it's sometimes you're not logical, and not being logical can create many problems. And I think that's the thing with money. There's not really logic in it. It's emotional. And it's why I think in that type of society, hopefully we'd be able to not depend so much on emotions and be able to withhold them to have a more peaceful and logical society. And I think, and of course, people might be lazy, but not everyone's lazy. That's just a few percentage. And of course, with having robots or AI start doing things more, it will create people to do other studies, maybe research or other activities, and it create more leisure, and it will also help people as well. And it's why I think it's such a great idea, because then we can have all this innovation and make our lives easier as well, and not have to risk people, or people not having good job, making good money, or all that stuff because they need to work this job. And I just think it's amazing. Of course, I've heard that AI is going to take over. I believe in the singularity as well. So if AI takes over, I'm okay with it, because I think that might be a mechanical evolution in a sense. And of course, AI to me is logical, it's not emotional. And I think myself, if I saw the way the world is today, and I'm an AI, and I have sentience, and I'm told make the world better, or stop world hunger, or help the environment, I would kill off all humans because they're the ones causing all these problems. So when you think of it that way, who's the real villain, the AI or us? It's us. So I just wanted to make this point and hopefully help people understand that there's more than one way looking at things, and just because we live in this society doesn't mean it's universal and doesn't mean it's natural.